Greetings and welcome to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Annual Awards Celebration. I'm Kevin Russell and I serve as chairman of the MLK State Commission. We were hoping to have an in-person event this year, but however, due to COVID restrictions, we were unable to do so, so we chose this virtual platform. I'd first like to thank Governor Andy Beshear for taking time out of his busy schedule to come and say a few words to us today. I'd also like to thank the commission and the committee for putting this program together. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Kentucky Heritage Council for their guidance and leadership.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to welcome remarks brought to you by our Kentucky Governor, Andy Beshear, who grew up in Fayette, Franklin, and Clark counties and graduated from Henry Clay High School. Governor Beshear is the son of former Governor Steve Beshear and former First Lady Jane Beshear. Governor Beshear's upbringing included the teachings of his grandfather, a Baptist minister from Dawson Springs, and strong values of family, faith, and public service. Prior to becoming governor, he served as Attorney General for our Commonwealth. Governor Beshear has led our state through one of the most trying times in our history, and we are grateful that he is our governor. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Governor Andy Beshear.
Hello, everyone. I am honored to join you virtually to celebrate the Martin Luther King Jr. Awards. Tonight, we're honoring you, the leaders across Kentucky bringing real, lasting change for our people. Your dedication to building a more just world will help us build a better Kentucky for all. Thank you. Thank you as Governor of the Commonwealth. Thank you as a dad raising kids in this state. Right now, we're facing several historic moments in Kentucky. While we continue to battle a worldwide pandemic and help our people recover and rebuild from multiple natural disasters, we also see economic opportunity with record-breaking investments and new jobs. As Dr. King said, whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. To overcome the challenges and to meet this economic moment, we must work together. We must work to ensure that prosperity reaches every corner of the Commonwealth, including the corners, places, and neighborhoods that are far too often left out. And your work will help us do just that by inspiring our people and starting important conversations that call for action. Together, we can ensure that these last 2 years of progress turn into 20 years of prosperity. And we can make sure that prosperity reaches every single Kentuckian where no one is left out. Good luck to all the nominees and congratulations to every person who contributed. You're all making a difference.
I would now like to ask Althea Jackson to lead in the invocation. Ms. Jackson is a member of the State Martin Luther King Jr. Commission and Director of Louisville Metro Government's Boards and Commissions. Welcome, Althea.
Let us go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we give you all the honor and the praise on this amazing day. We ask for your blessings on this state, the MLK Commission, its members, and all those who participated in the essay, poetry, and art contest. We ask for continued ability, strength, and desire to make a difference in this world and to carry out Dr. King's vision. These and all your many blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
I would now like to introduce students from the Kentucky State Choir who will lead us in our Black National Anthem. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Commissioner Stan Holmes. If you haven't already, please take a moment and read his bio. I will now turn it over to Commissioner Holmes to make his remarks.
Dr. King said, cowards ask the question, is it safe? Convenience asks the question, is it polite? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a stand that is neither safe, nor polite, nor popular. But one must take it because one's conscience tells him that it is right. So why does my vote and my voice matter? I remember when I was a young man growing up in St. Louis, Missouri. Dr. King's dream of social justice was in our daily lives. As we voiced our opinion about housing and poverty, jobs, equal pay for equal work, the countless speeches of I Have a Dream we gave in church in his honor, the book reports, the stories that my mother would tell me about the miles of injustice many had suffered, so that not all would understand but be judged by the content of the character that they had. It was and is my voice that mattered, then and now. Dr. King was one that paved the way for all of us. As I read his stories over and over again, I remember the road of struggles he and many others chose instead of the road of convenience. And all I can think about is the test of a man that he went through and the fight that he made, the endless nights that he cried for the loss and the smile of the victories that he had made. None of that was just for a moment that he had right then alone. It was my voice and my vote that mattered. He understood that it would take more than just mere words to get things done. It would take the blood, sweat, and tears. It would take him to a trail that had no path. But willing he was, and I believe that if he had the chance to do it all again, he would, for my family and yours. He knew that his fight was bigger than him, even when he had the chance or the opportunity to fight on ice. Brother Roland Martin once said, in a question, he stated, he said, what will your legacy say about you? Will it say that your voice and your vote mattered? Will your kids be able to say, my mother and my father were on the front lines for better education for me and those that were in our community? Will your legacy say that you were a drum major for justice and that you had your hands in helping to improve poverty and homelessness? That you took a stand for social justice issues that affected the masses and not just the 1%? Will you look at the world and say you made changes to make them happen for the better? Will that legacy be said by your children when they are adults that my mom and my dad were soldiers for me, for justice, and were willing to fight for me at all costs? So let's look at the legacy and remember what Brother Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. asked. He was speaking loud and clear when he said, it is now, the very words to us, time and time again. Don't be dreamers, he said, be doers. Dr. King made it clear to us about the controversial ideas he championed and those that killed him at some point. Voting rights for all access, liberty and justice for all have become accepted to a degree that he found difficult to believe. The march he led, that one that troubled the president and upset the conservatives, had become respected as one of the most signature moments in American history. And as a result of that speech he gave, the tough-minded recital of American wrongs that made a difference. We have heard the words over and over again many times. I have a dream. I have a dream. And yes, I have a dream. Dr. King is not asking us to still live in his dream. He was telling us that if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, then you can change the world. He was and is asking us to turn that dream into a reality. He was letting us know that the dream time is over, and we must now wake up and do the work that must be done. We have also come to this hollow spot, he said, standing at Lincoln's doorstep to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. Over and over again, he said that. Now is the time. Now is the time. We cannot and should not turn a legacy into a fairy tale. Brother Martin Luther King's idea was to move from a dream to action. We all have heard and shared a fairy tale and what they entailed. We all know that's not what he had in mind. That speech was not meant to be called the I Have a Dream speech. That was what the people called it. He was letting us know that the time is now to fight poverty, homelessness, to build mentoring programs that can change the lives of young men and young women around the world. The time is now to educate others on voting rights. The time is now to understand that one voice can make a difference. The time is now to understand that justice for all should mean justice for all. So, understand, we must never doubt that small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world for the better. Indeed, it is the very thing that it always has. It only took 9 men to change America forever on 9/11. So why can't we join together and change our lives for the better and make this dream a reality? That is the one of the most enduring lessons that Dr. Martin Luther King, life, career, and legacy taught us. One hopes that that lesson is not lost on all the people quoting his most famous speech today. It is a fine and noble thing to have a dream. But having a dream is no excuse for accepting the status quo and waiting passively on someday. To make things right is what we must do. A dream is not an excuse, it's a responsibility. So the challenge is for us, and now is still that time. As I leave you, I want to say, there is never a time not to do the right thing. So now is not the time to take a break from justice. Now is not the time to take a break from your voice and your vote. Now is not the time to take a break from fighting racism. Now is not the time to take a break from fighting poverty, brutality, better education, homelessness, human trafficking, physical abuse, and crime. We as a people don't take breaks from doing what's right. We remember the dream. We celebrate the dream with action. When we act on the dream and continue on the legacy, then we can truly understand that Martin Luther King's voice will continue to be heard, and we'll remember that my voice and my vote truly matter. Thank you today, and God bless you.
I will now read the Commission's mission, which is foundational to the work we do to carry out Dr. King's legacy in the Commonwealth. Our mission is to promote the annual MLK holiday each January as an occasion to reflect on the principles of racial equality and nonviolent social change as espoused by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Also to encourage appropriate ceremonies and activities relating to the King holiday, to promote community service in honor of the principles taught by Dr. King, to provide advice and assistance to local governments and provide organizations with respect to observance of the holiday, to promote the holiday for interracial cooperation and youth anti-violence initiatives, and honor this mortal man, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who made the ultimate sacrifice. Therefore, it is the Commission's intention to promote unity, equality, and justice for all people in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the United States, and the world. Today, many of us take for granted that African Americans can stay in hotels, travel freely, use any public restroom, and eat at any restaurant. Dr. King and other civil rights leaders fought for those rights at a time when segregation was the norm. The Martin Luther King Jr. State Commission recognizes individuals who embody Dr. King's life and work and to celebrate his spirit. Today, we are here to honor those who are nominated and selected to be recognized for carrying on Dr. King's vision for civil rights, inclusiveness, social justice, diversity, and an equal society for all people. We want to thank all the students across the Commonwealth that participated in the contest and those citizens nominated for the MLK Leadership Award. Congratulations to all our winners in each of our categories.
Before we close, I would like to again thank Governor Andy Beshear for taking time out of his schedule to be with us today. And I would especially like to thank the young participants who participated in this program today, because it is you who are truly keeping Dr. King's dream alive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we hope to see you next year.